to it. You're going to be seeing here as we get into Tropical Storm Fiona, we are looking at the track here. It'll become a hurricane as we get into the overnight hours, and then by Wednesday, possibly Tuesday night, Wednesday, we're going to see it maybe become a Category 2 hurricane and continue to track northward going toward Bermuda. We get back into how this all plays out for us. There's another system that is out there. That little area is only a 20% chance, but you can see there's more activity on the eastern Pacific, which means possibility of more rainfall getting into California. We'll take it into the dew points right now. We're very cool getting into it. As far as those 70s holding on right now, it's just a couple of degrees cooler than what we were just a couple of hours ago. You're seeing 80s to some 70s, but it feels like it's still in the 80s right about now. We go into the rainfall that has really diminished mostly. You can see the northerly winds came in, knocked out the conditions here. As we finish out, the winds are fairly light. As we go into the remainder of the day, you're going to be seeing going into tomorrow, into the late morning hours, you're going to be seeing again nice conditions, possibly partly to mostly cloudy skies and dry. Back to you.
Art, thank you. Other news tonight, a New Orleans pastor is being accused of money laundering. U.S. Attorney Dwayne Evans announced that Dr. Charles J. Southall has been charged with 1 count of money laundering. According to court documents, the charge relates to the electronic transfer of approximately $100,000 from a bank account to an individual investment account in Southall's name. He faces a maximum of 10 years in prison, among other charges, if he is found guilty. Southall is the Reverend for the First Emmanuel Baptist Church. Taking you now to Laplace, where family and friends said their final farewells to the baggage handler, tragically killed while working at Armstrong International Airport. 26-year-old Germani Thompson was laid to rest today. She died on August 30th after officials say her hair got stuck in a conveyor belt as she was unloading bags. Thompson is being remembered by her loved ones for her big heart, her smile, and laughter that they say was infectious. Tonight, we are remembering one of the pioneers of Channel 6. Former beloved anchor Jan Carr has died at the age of 91. Jan, along with her husband Bob, were a staple on WDSU during the 1960s and 70s. Their segments on their popular morning and midday show focused on family, parenting, fashion, and lifestyle topics. Jan and her husband were inducted into the New Orleans Broadcasting Hall of Fame in 1994. A funeral service will be held September 30th at 11 a.m. at Christ Church Cathedral, with visitation starting at 10 a.m. We continue to see a mass outpouring of emotion as the world mourns Queen Elizabeth II's death. She is lying in state in Westminster Hall in London until her funeral on Monday. NBC's Bree Jackson is in London now, where tributes to the Queen have steadily grown over the past few days.
A moving moment with their matriarch. Princes William and Harry, both in military uniform, as Queen Elizabeth's 8 grandchildren stand guard over her coffin. The royal family's public display of grief comes as crowds file through Westminster Hall to see the Queen lying in state. Earlier in the day, King Charles III and Prince William surprised those braving the long lines.
I've seen the King and I'm very, very pleased.
I was speechless when I did it. I never thought I'd handshake the King. The first thing I said was that his mother would be proud, and he replied, "We were lucky to have her for 70 years.
With Charles ascending to the throne and royal family members taking on new roles, historians predict the world could soon see a more modernized, slimmed-down monarchy.
They're going to be taking part in all of the important investitures and things like that. But it's going to be different. There's no doubt, of course, it's going to be different without the Queen.
Preparations are underway for her state funeral at the historic Westminster Abbey. President Biden arriving in London to attend Monday's service. It's where coronations, including the Queen's, have taken place for nearly 1,000 years.
Well, it's said that up to 2 million people are going to be coming to the capital on Monday. So this is going to be a really important date in British history.
And now a heartbroken nation is preparing to lay their longest-serving monarch to rest. In London, Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Back here at home now, Ochsner and the Urban League of Louisiana teamed up to host a big health event, and our own Gina Swanson joined in as a speaker at the Morial Convention Center. The events featured 20 different screenings, including blood pressure, diabetes, lung capacity, and hearing. It is all to help create a healthy state by 2030 and the ambitious plan to lift Louisiana off the bottom of the health rankings. New Orleans Saints legends teamed up with Tulane Health System today to raise awareness of prostate cancer. The annual event, Man Up, offers free prostate cancer screenings. Attendees also got to hear from former Saints linebacker Ricky Jackson about his cancer diagnosis and recovery. Other former NFL players were also there today, including former quarterback Bobby Hebert. In Festival Central, the first New Orleans East Festival is wrapped up. It wrapped up just a few hours ago at Joe Brown Park on Reed Boulevard. Local musicians, arts and craft vendors, and so much more were out there all day today. All of the proceeds will benefit a carousel in Joe Brown Park. And taking a live look outside right now as we go to break, we want to let you know that meteorologist Art Jarrett will return with the rest of your weekend forecast when we come back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back, everyone. We've got a big day tomorrow.
Right.
The first home game for the Saints, so let's talk about the forecast.
All right, and away we go with it. We'll get to it real quick. We take a look here right now at the Caesars Superdome, as Damon likes to say, looking mighty fine out there. We'll go right into the 12-hour forecast for the remainder of this night and into tomorrow as we go into the morning hours. You're seeing very dry conditions, only about a 12 to about a 24% chance of rainfall with increasing clouds as we go. We take a look at the forecast for you at noon. You're looking at least 87 degrees. By the end of the game, the possibility of showers and storms, well, it's going to be about about a 40% chance for you. So there, you're going to see some rainfall going home. Possibly if you're going to the North Shore, some of those storms or showers may follow you there. We'll take it into how this all plays out for everybody else, as we do have drier conditions still. But eventually this is going to change up as we finish out for tomorrow going into Monday. Yeah, we're going to get even drier. In fact, the rainfall will be very minimal, if any at all, going into the early portion of next week. We take a look at our forecast for tomorrow. You see some coastal showers and storms getting into the 5 o'clock morning. As we go through sunrise, they'll begin to pick up a little bit in Terrebonne Parish. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, as you can see, with some of that now sneaking in from the east, working across, maybe a spot or two getting to Chalmette, maybe going into Galliano. Then we'll see more of the showers and storms try to work into areas by Jean Lafitte, possibly Belle Chase. So you have a very limited amount of shower activity as you get into the metro at 3 o'clock. Now, see, this thing has moved up in a couple of hours. So you're going to see after you're out of the game, well, maybe some of those storms will start to move out of the area. So this may fluctuate back to what I showed you earlier today. And of course, now you'll see by the time we get in the 10:30 hour, we are pretty much done. So that's the rainfall for you now. You see not much going on again for the a lot of rainfall that we did have over the last couple of days over the Gulf. Now, we've got a lot of rainfall and potential and very warm conditions going into areas right into the Caribbean. And in fact, you're going to be seeing again Tropical Storm Fiona. You can see the areas that are in the tropical storm warnings or hurricane warnings. You can see all the way around Puerto Rico, as well as to the eastern portion and northern portion of the Dominican Republic. This will continue to stretch out of the area, as you can see, kind of working possibly across portions of, say, Puerto Rico, and then going into the Dominican Republic and exiting out by Monday, and then sweeping out of the area by Wednesday and Thursday. We could possibly see a Category 2 hurricane working into the eastern or just offshore of the East Coast. We will see as we go through the next several days, drier conditions will be in our forecast. Tomorrow, 89 degrees, a little bit of sunshine after that rainfall as we get into, say, the sunrise or sunset time. We'll be seeing yet again some beautiful looking storms like we saw earlier this evening. Temperatures, we're going to be looking at some temperatures in the morning in the 60s and then the 70s. We'll see more of that as we get into Monday going into Tuesday. Limited amounts of rainfall going to the early portion of next week, and then you're going to be catching up to the first day of fall season coming in for Thursday. You'll see temperatures in those lower 90s continuing on, so it's going to be hot. We're looking at Friday and Saturday where we see a little bit of cloud cover and a 10% chance of rainfall. So that's your forecast, looking pretty high and dry going into the next few days, but it's going to be increasingly warm. We're going to take a quick break right about now. Nope, we're going to be holding on. I'll send it back over to Elizabeth.
Yes, we want to let people know what is coming up next in sports. Both LSU and Tulane making fans very happy after very big and much needed wins. Stay with us, everyone. Sports is coming up next.
Brian Kelly has been searching for the identity of his LSU Tigers, and honestly, it's something that could take some time in Baton Rouge. But you know what helps that process? Winning and doing it in SEC play like his Tigers did in his first SEC game against Mississippi State. Tiger Stadium was just on fire, which is like saying water is wet and the sky is blue. But that wasn't the case in the first half with LSU down 13-0. But before the end of the half, Jaden Daniels, just an absolute strike to Jere Jenkins, fights his way into the end zone. 13-7 game at the half. Third quarter we go, State up 16-10, LSU punting. Remember Malik Neighbors muffed 2 punts against Florida State? It goes the other way right here, recovered by Slade Roy inside the 10, and LSU has to score a touchdown here, right? Well, Jaden Daniels answers that question, keeps it and bullies his way in for 6 to give the Tigers a 17-16 lead. Daniels 93 yards on the ground, 23 of 37 for 210 through the air. One of those 23 completions coming right here.